Coming up on today's Code Bet Daily, it is a huge Friday weekend look ahead. I think we're talking just about every sport under the sun. What do we got? AFL, NFL, NBA, NRL. I think Stats Guy, what are you talking about? Wimbledon, F1?
Yeah, F1. The GOAT to kill it at his home track again.
Love that. What about you, Alex?
I don't mind a lowly ranked team in the AFL to cover.
Nice one. We've also got all your player props, game picks, best bets. We're going to rate my multi. We've got 2 donations. It's all going on. It's a huge Code Bet Daily weekend. Look ahead. Better get around it. It starts right now. Welcome to Code Bet Daily. It is Friday, TGIF, am I right? July 7. All day. This is episode 147 of this here program. I am your host, Jaymz Clements. I'm the editor of a very good website. It is called Code Bet. You can find that at codebet.com.au in a surprise twist. I'm joined, as always, by the Pontiffs. That's right, the Pontiffs of punting. I'm nailing that every single time. We've got Alex Donnelly over there, a very, very happy Swans fan who never has to worry about the footy for the rest of the season. Alex?
It's honestly great because like there is no stress. Like it's just like I can watch and not be like, if we lose, it's all over. It's like I just hope we play well now. Like it's all good.
Welcome to being a North fan. I just hope we play well.
Yeah. welcome to the last 20 years for you blokes. I tell you what though. Buddy Franklin trying a snap around the corner in the pissing down rain.
Oh, that was dumb,
wasn't
wasn't it?
It's like, mate, just, God damn it, a drop punt's worked for 140 years. You've nailed 3 already. One more is not going to hurt. Anyway.
I mean, he was just trying to succumb to your witchcraftery where you were like...
I was literally staring down on top of him, like right down.
Go on, buddy.
Oh, he's going around the corner. No. Yeah, and then a couple of jerkbag Richmond fans were like, in fairness, when he was having that shot, I get booing him, but they were booing him in the first quarter. It's like, what did he do to you guys?
It's shocking.
I'm just, you are the person who was sitting there yesterday going, I hope Buddy pulls a hammy. So
it's true.
Yeah, but then he started taking contested grabs and like, Buddy's on, get around him. It was actually honestly, really good game and an advertisement as to why the AFL needs Thursday night footy every week of the year.
Yeah. Alex Donnelly is a man of multitudes. I hate Buddy. I love Buddy. I hate Buddy. I love Buddy. I hate Australia. I love Australia. There we go.
Listen!
Speaking of Australia, it's the Stats Guy. What's going on, Stats Guy?
Got my Aussie cap on. Watching the cricket last night was awesome. Mitch Marsh.
Did you pick that up at the junior cricket camp you went to in January?
No, I did. When I was working for him, I got a free hat, so that was pretty good.
Hey, look, a free hat!
Yeah, I was watching Mitch Marsh get 101 session. I couldn't believe that. That was absolutely awesome. And there was so much sport on last night, I couldn't keep up with it all.
Mitch Marsh was also lucky, I feel like, to survive his first 5 deliveries.
Yeah, don't look at the highlights of him getting dropped. Early.
Well, no, do watch the highlights. It's what happens when you don't pick a wicketkeeper. You pick a batsman with gloves.
He's shocking.
Nailed it. Right, this is Code Sports Extravaganza Daily. That's right, Code Bet Daily. It says it on the tin. We're looking at codes, we're looking at bets, and we're looking at them all the way across the weekend and even to the future with one of mine. There's plenty going on in a surprise. There's lots going on.
So much sport.
This is like, talk about codes. I think I've got like a whole mess of stuff. But either way, we're talking player props, game picks, best bets. I believe we'll have a donation today from Alex, as per usual.
It's a lot more Larry than last week's.
I might even throw just a quick, off the top of my head, line AFL multi at you as well for a bit of a rate my multi. What else are we looking at, though? I have got, to rattle this off, I'm talking AFL, I'm talking NRL, I'm talking NBA, and I'm talking NFL.
Wow.
Jeez, running the gamut. Love it. What about you, Stats Guy?
Some more Wimbledon. We actually got some matches in last night. The sun came out in London. And then some F1 at the British Grand Prix.
So have we actually finished the first round yet?
Yes, I think so. Finally.
How did the multi go? What happened?
I don't want to talk. Senego cost me the last leg that took 2 days.
You just gone and done
Demon
it.
I got over the line though last night as well, which was
good job by the
really
Demon. Alex, what are you looking at?
I'm having another look at the Open that gets underway next week. There is an AFL look. I've had a deeper look at one of the games that I didn't preview this week, and of course the donation. I might even put together a long-term future donation as the show goes.
Nice one. All right, let's get into it. Player props. First off, for me, Marnus failed me again. He's killing me.
He's not
every time. It looks like he's getting in and then just does something dumb.
Also, the one test we didn't dunk on David Warner.
I know.
We talked about it, but we did talk about it on yesterday's show, and I think the pick was the under, the 23 and a half or whatever it was.
I went over,
but Marnus breaking my heart. He's getting in and then just always nibbling.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, what are you doing? Don't nibble. Stop nibble. He's got it nibbled. You're killing me. But I am still on with Captain Cummins. He had, 2 wickets last night as well. Marsh actually picked up
Marsh has got a wicket and 100. Yeah, nuts.
Bison.
Out of the match already on there.
Ball, yeah.
But I did have Cummins 2.5, so he's already got the 2, feeling pretty good. He was the top Australian first innings wicket taker as well for me at 325, top first across both. He's got a bit of work to do there, top Mark Woods, tell you that much with the 5 for, but over 5.5 for Cummins as well for the match. Feeling pretty good about those ones. But player props for me for the weekend. There was one thing that I sort of forgot to mention on yesterday's full-blown AFL show about the Carlton Fremantle game, and that's a pair of Dockers going against their old club, which I loved. This will be in my article that goes up later today. Obviously, Blake Acres and Adam Cerra playing for the Blues against their old team out west. This is Acres' first year in the Navy Blue. Cerra's second. Cerra actually played against them last year. I think he ripped off 32, which is pretty good. So I'm actually going to go overs for both of them. The 25 plus for Blake Acres. I think Stats Guy and I might have been talking about this just in the office yesterday. Just a bit of office chatter.
We were, yeah.
Now, Acres has been rattling off massive games earlier in the season. It's like he was trying to prove that he
was worthy. Yeah.
And at the same time, Carlton were losing. There's a bit of a correlation there because all he was doing was going, I've got the ball.
Just bomb it. Yeah.
Getting rid of it as quickly as he could.
Yeah.
Over the last 5 weeks, he's sort of settled in a little bit more. He's top 20 plus in 3 of those last 5, but his efficiency is through the roof compared to earlier in the season. Yeah. And I think against his old team, he's going to love it going out west and having a crack. So 25 plus for Acres was 275, which I really liked.
That's great.
And Cerra, he's gone, he's had a massive run as well, right, of over 30s for plenty of the year. He's over 30 for the season. He's literally only gone below 30 possessions twice since round 6.
Really?
Outside of the last 2 weeks where he racked up 27 and 27. As I mentioned, 32 against the Dockers last year at Optus Stadium. I think we see that again. 30-plus disposals for Adam Cerra, 255. There are 2 very nice looks for 2 former Dockers. Love that. And just a quick little nibble at the NRL. Souths tomorrow night against Canterbury Bulldogs. Souths origin decimated, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I'm going to get to that in my game picks. But Alex Johnson's still there. 2+ tries. $3. What are you doing? You're killing me. But still, he had 2 last week, right? And there's no other really awesome attacking option, I think, on that South team. Canterbury sort of stink. So I'm going to go Alex Johnson, 2+ tries at over $3. Don't feel too bad about that too.
Nice.
All right, Alex, player prop.
Yeah, having a look at the Open Championship gets underway next week at Royal Liverpool. I'd call nothing about Liverpool Royal, but that's just me.
Liverpool.
Yeah, no, I don't like it. I don't get it. I don't want to know about it. Anyway, Rory McIlroy last won the tournament when it was at Royal Liverpool. That was 9 years ago, but his form coming into this has been quite good. Last week in the River Highlands event in the Travellers Championship, he did finish 7th. He was about 5 shots off the pace there. Scotty Scheffler once again with a top 5 finish there. The dude is a freak. I'll be backing both of them. We talked about Scotty last week. Then, of course, in the US Open, failed to win that one by a shot. Finished second there. Go back to his previous tournament, Canadian Open. He was 9th there. And then in the Memorial, that was where he sort of didn't have the best of times and probably should have got closer, but he's still tied for 7th. So he's gone top 10, top 10, top 10, top 10, rolling in, coming to his homeland in the UK, even though he's from Northern Ireland. But you know what? They'll still claim him.
Yeah.
Look, he's currently the favourite, and it's only $9, but it's like, you're backing the 2 dudes in really good form. It's the thing about golf. You're like, it's a major. Jordan Spieth. Wyndham Clark, even though he won the last one. I'm just saying, you just say names. It's like, now look at the dudes who are playing really well. There's 2 blokes who are just in out of this world form at the moment. It's Scheffler and McIlroy. If you can back both of them at $10 and $9, it's like, okay, you can have a pretty good book set straight away and then figure it out as the tournament goes. But this week for our second prop of the Open, let's go with Rory.
Nice one.
Very nice.
That's a good call.
Rory's been awesome.
And, I think you're right about it's all about form leading in, right? It's literally how well you're hitting the ball, what's your little run of form leading into it
as well.
Like if you've got one average tournament out of 6 leading in, that's fine. But if it's like, you're just like, don't want to back you. You're not striking it well. Whereas, at least Rory, he's hitting them well. He probably should have won the US Open. There's just a couple of shots that were off by a tiny bit that's cost him the tournament. But you know what? Back home to a British Open, and I think he's due to win a major. Hasn't won one forever.
Yeah, a long time.
Right. Stats guy, what's your player prop?
back to Wimbledon. We've got a third round matchup, which is funny considering we had some first round matchups last night, but the rain hopefully can hold off for Francis.
At some stage, Stats Guy will stop talking about the rain.
I'm sick of it because I'm trying to sit down, might have a beer later tonight and watch the tennis, and then, it's raining again. Great. I have to turn on the cricket actually, there's so much sport, I don't really mind.
Well,
I think you'll be fine.
The tour, I think I'll be fine.
Anything.
True.
Yeah.
We got Francis Tiafoe taking on Grigor Dimitrov, big foe as they like to call him, or he likes to call himself. I think he's now in the top 10 in the world. He's probably my favorite player to watch on the tour. I think I talked him up a lot during the Australian Open. He's just a really fun player to watch. Just amazing form at the moment. He won the Stuttgart Open in Germany just a few weeks ago, which is also on grass, and his all-around game has just been dominating on all surfaces. As I just said, top 10 in the world for the first time in his career now. He's got amazing power hitting, as does Grigor Dimitrov, but Dimitrov's getting a little bit older. And big foe can actually do those finesse and drop shots a lot better. They work really well on the grass. Dimitrov can put up a good fight here with 10th versus 24th in the world, so it's a really good third round matchup. But Tiafoe's speed across the court, I think is going to be too hard to go past here. He also won in his first 2 rounds in straight sets, so very easy. I'm going just Tiafoe head-to-head, $1.85. I was really surprised at those odds. That's probably the highest odds you get even if he goes into the next round. And then Tiafoe 3-1. They last time they met, that was the scoreline. Tiafoe won 3-1 in the sets. So I think it's going to be similar to that. Dimitrov's still a really good player in his own right, but Tiafoe is one of the most informed players in the world. So I'm going to take Tiafoe 3-1 at $4.80, which I was really, you get really good value for those set betting in tennis at the moment.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's go big foe.
Get around him.
Feeling good about him. Righto. Let's do some game picks. Third test. I mentioned the total match runs yesterday. Looking pretty good, gentlemen.
Yeah.
1,122. After what?
Can we call this home already?
I think it might be in.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, we should have probably got bowled out for like 150, 100 because
exactly. Now we've got the Poms at 3 for 68 already. So 13 wickets on day 1. That's a fair amount.
Crazy.
So we'll see what happens on day 2. But I feel like the 11:22 might take a bit of reaching. But otherwise, for the game picks, I wanted to mention that NRL game that I hit on just before with Alex Johnson, South Canterbury. This is a weird one because, as I said, South missing 4 with Origin. Canterbury missing Josh Adokar. South minus 4.5. I actually was surprised by, they're missing dudes, but Canterbury stink.
Canterbury
I'm going
bad,
South. Honestly.
Have you listened to the NRL show?
Oh, yeah. So it's actually it's in McHugh. But we saw Canterbury lose 66 zip last week. South, look, they've won the last 5 against Canterbury. I feel good about them just winning and just doing enough to cover that 4.5 line. I think they've covered the last 3 as well. It's going to be a bit of a tricky one, but this is the one that I looked at and went, I think I feel best about this one out of the games remaining. Even with South sort of missing all their dudes, I think they do enough. And is that how did you actually land on that in the NRL show, Alex?
We tipped South, but we're like, let's get the cash on Thursday and Friday and go away for the weekend because those other 3 games are super confusing. And sometimes the best advice is no advice because, we're here to make informed gambling decisions. And it's just like, we don't know what's going to happen with all these ins and outs. Who's not going to play. Johnson might not be playing for New Zealand. It's just like, you know what? Let's get the cash Thursday. We got it last night. We hit Sharks winning easily and the under for Phil. And then tonight we want, St. George to get beaten by 13 or more. And again, the under. And let's just, no more betting for the weekend.
Nice. Yeah, this one.
It was 20 minutes of I don't know what we're doing.
Good listening. Because even South 13 plus, you're like, if they had half their dudes, they're not
in the best form themselves anyway.
South's got beaten by the Dragons, the last Origin when the same thing happened. So it's just
that's why I was happy with the line at the 4.5 because I think I actually saw it at 6.5. I'm like, I don't want that. 4, I'll take that.
Yeah, nice.
It was line covering last night, which we got. It was a 26-point win, but they still hit the unders. The over-under was 49. There was 48 points. And tonight, I think it's an 11.5 line.
Yep. Right, well, with the other game picks that I've got here, it's a bit of AFL unders. I'm going to go a couple of unders because we've got the Saints and Melbourne's tomorrow night, a game that Alex is going to.
He's very excited about.
Enjoy this. Jeez.
You know what? Going to football when your team isn't playing is actually
it's fun, yeah.
I can hate watch this and be like, God, this is terrible.
But there's a doubles there with Bet365, under 158.5 points for St Kilda Melbourne, going the under, and then under 162.5 for Carlton Freo. This is just 2 teams that can't kick scores in Melbourne versus St Kilda.
Yep.
And Carlton Freo. And Carlton, I'm actually a little bit more worried about that because if it's nice out west we've seen Freo actually not be too bad offensively. Like they've hit over 100 points here and there throughout the season. And even in losses, they've actually put up some pretty big numbers. But they're so inconsistent they can go out and just put up 30. And you're like, right. And Carlton, just against a good team, can't kick scores. So leaning much more towards the under there. So you combine those two, and that's your sort of, you double at 357, 360 for the pair of those unders. But I feel like they're my favourite unders for the weekend. The overs, I think you've obviously got, I'm going to get to that in my best bets because it's one of the easier best bets of the weekend. But Brisbane, West Coast, obvious.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated to see what you guys think. We talked about it in the AFL show, but Geelong North.
Yeah, I'm going over.
Alex is about to talk about that right now. So I'm interested about that over-under. I feel pretty good about that over. I'm just saying. All right, Alex, talk us through your North pick here.
Yeah, I'm taking North at the 50.5 start. We did have a laugh yesterday about, vertical hoops and horizontal hoops, but then North have come out like,
we got a new top.
We're wearing all blue with a white kangaroo.
Looks sick,
You've ruined our fun, North. Once again, North Melbourne ruining fun. But anyway, as we saw last night with the Swans getting rolled, there's sort of a question mark on that form of it being any good from the draw last week. Jeremy Cameron misses a game once again for Geelong, which, smart, taking the concussion protocol seriously, but also it's like, it's North. Big deal. Yeah. No offense, stats guy. But when you go have a look, when you dig through the stats,
I'm going to leave.
But when you dig through the stats this year, also like Geelong is 17th in the AFL when it comes to covering the line. West Coast the only team that's worse, obviously. North can cover this line. 50.5 is a lot. Geelong, apart from when the water boy for the Swans had to play centre half back in round 5, they haven't been blowing teams away. Like you look at the West Coast one, that was only like 40, 50 points. Essendon, they only beat by 5 goals. They're not smashing teams.
They lost to GWS.
They lost to Gold Coast. So they're not blitzing teams. So you can easily see this being like something where, Geelong get a bit of a roll on and they win sort of like 95 to, 70. Never going to get beaten, but it's never like a smashing. It's just like, what we take out of this? North. They tried. Geelong 4 points. Big deal. But I really think North can cover. Wardlaw and Sheasel, nothing sort of bothering them at the moment. The baby boomer's in. Little Boomer Harvey. If you've seen that video on Instagram, it's actually a really fun video of Brent Harvey telling his son that he's going to be playing.
Yeah.
And as I've said, North have been pretty exciting the last couple of weeks. Like they haven't been doing too much wrong. You just hope that they can sort of hold it together for the next couple of weeks and get through that. And also for the over, the last 5 North games have hit over, like just in general. So the only they got beaten by the line by GWS and Adelaide. You can cop the Adelaide line because it's Adelaide at home. Easily covered against the Dogs, easily covered against Essendon, easily covered against Collingwood, despite them being, sort of 5-goal loss to Collingwood, but easily covered. It was like a 55-point line. Yep. I just don't see I don't see North Melbourne getting blown out of the waters once again. They're playing a brand of footy that's actually exciting and not,
it's weird.
We're going to pack her up, boys, be defensive and have it just, that's another one overhead. Hey, that's another one. Oh, cool. Can someone get a hard hat, please? But North to cover this line. I think it's like a 30-point win to Geelong, but North easily cover.
Yeah, don't mind.
This one screams like 120 to like 70.
Yeah.
And they just sort of get like 78.
I mean, 71 would be nice because then that does
We've gotten over 70 a lot lately, so I'd back that.
And I do worry about Geelong kicking a big score because their biggest score in the sort of last couple of months was 97 against the Western Bulldogs, and prior to that, they haven't kicked over 100 since they beat Essendon, and that was like round 7 or 8.
Yep. And that's kind of it, right? Like when North lost to the Dogs, it was like, 21 points or whatever. It's that sort of
105.
It's good in the past.
80, something like that. And
we'll talk about that
like
the other week.
They nearly got the 100 against Essendon when they got beaten. They still kicked 70 points last week against Adelaide. Yep. So, they're doing enough to be like, this is fun. We can cop this.
Yeah.
Nice one. All right. Stats guy, game pick.
Back to Wimbledon. My pick to go all the way on the women's side of the draw. Ons Jabeur taking on Zhuzhan Bai. Jabeur still my pick to go all the way. She cruised through the first round in straight sets. Now she's got an amazing 23-5 record on grass across the past few years. She's just going to keep going up and up in that. And she's just showing great movement all-round game, which is perfect for the grass surface. Bai is extremely inexperienced on grass. Only her 3rd tournament ever on grass on the surface, so I don't really back her getting past this next round. I think the Tunisian, in Jabeur, she's going to win easy in straight sets. And I think the total games line is going to go under, which is done in, I think I wrote 5 in her past 8 matches there. So I'm going to go Jabeur head-to-head against Bai, and under 19.5 total games is $2. So I think it's going to be like a 6-3, 6-4 type of game, something like that. Because actually no, that's under the 19.5. Yeah, I was trying to do some quick maths there. Yeah,
Good maths. That's good.
Last match was 6-3. I wouldn't be surprised if the same has hardly made it past the second round in tournament. So you get Jabeur head to head under the 19.5 total games at $2 on Ladbrokes.
Love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, she's gonna smash.
Let's go. She's awesome. Right, best bets for today, tomorrow, the weekend, whenever. I've got a couple of futures, but I've got my favorite bet for the weekend, Brisbane. We talked about this on the AFL show very quickly. We had a bit of a stab at the dark about what the over-under specifically for Brisbane's total point mark was.
Yes.
And 176.
I landed pretty close with the 121.30 odd, and it was 131, I think, yesterday. That's already up to 133.5. I'm still going over. Let's go. Bang. Brisbane could get 133.5 points in their sleep against this West Coast team, I think. There is nothing about this game that goes, there is no way that they don't put up like 140, 150 easily. So we saw West Coast get smashed off the park by Sydney the other day. This is a Fortress Gabba. I think they travel all the way across there just to get their absolute head kicks.
Yeah, they won't want to be playing that.
No Luke Shuey and Shannon Hearn as well. It's like, Jeremy Govin's back, but the ball's going to go over his head a lot.
Yep. So Brisbane minus 88.5, one of the biggest lines you'll ever see in AFL footy.
That is huge.
Over 188.5 total points as well. That's $3.30. That's probably my favorite bet for the entire weekend.
The line keeps going up and up. It's up 7.
I mean, I think we started. Where did we start with that Brisbane line? It was like 79, 81.
81. I think it actually started at 101 last week, but because Saints didn't cover the line, they're like, maybe West Coast are right. But yeah, they're going to easily cover this one.
Yep. A couple of other futures, though, for my favorite best bets that I've been looking at. I'm digging into my NFL futures. We've talked about this. Cincinnati, they're one of my favorite teams heading into this year. Just the simple win the AFC North.
Nice.
225. Literally, if they win their first 2 games, that's going to dip dramatically. If they beat like Baltimore in one of those first matchups, boom, this is over. There's no one else in that AFC. Look, Pittsburgh always a bit, here and there. Cleveland, always a little bit here and there as well, especially with the massage enthusiast, shall we say, Deshaun Watson coming back. Brutal.
Yeah, that's right. He's back.
Yeah.
After, fair whack of time, if not fair whack of time, there you go.
There's the joke there.
I don't trust them, whereas I trust this Cincinnati team. I think they're awesome this year. I think I've mentioned them in the total wins over-unders. I think they're going to go over 11 wins. I think they win the AFC North. They walk away with this one. So 225 is like a futures multi or something like that for the NFL. I love that addition. And we mentioned this the other day, Stats Guy.
I'm on this one.
Rookie of the year, Chet Holmgren.
It's a great name.
After a couple of Summer League games, everyone's like, oh my God, he's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, I told you literally 2 weeks ago. What are you talking about? $5.50. The best part is he hasn't changed in price. So if you're still going to get on him, I think this is it. The big query will be, is he going to play 65 games?
Yeah, hopefully.
My thinking on this has changed a little bit. I think he will, as long as he doesn't pick up just, a nagging injury here or there. Because I think OKC are going to be really good. The West is going to be really tight next season as well in the NBA. So I expect them to play Chet essentially as much as they can, right? Where they go, okay, maybe a rest day here or there, but to get to 65 games, you still have 17 up your sleeve.
Yep.
So I think Chet, $5.50, I still love it. He is looking amazing. But then the fact that Scoot Henderson's still $4.50 Stats Guy. You know that Scoot's going to probably play 82 games.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
The trade Dame.
And a lot of minutes.
He's going to be in his hand. He's going to go absolutely hammer and tong. So I don't think you can go wrong with both of those. $4.50 and $5.50. So $4.50 for Scoot Henderson on the Portland Trailblazers and Chet Holmgren, $5.50.
Nice.
With the Oklahoma City Thunder. Josh Giddey and Jack White and Paddy Mills. He's got a bunch of Aussies around him. You love to see it. Right, Stats Guy, what is your best bet for the weekend before we get to the donation and rate my multi?
Yeah, best bet. Looking at where the F1, the Formula One first started at Silverstone, the British Grand Prix back in 1950. We're looking at Lewis Hamilton's favourite track. It's his home track in the UK, obviously. He just absolutely loves it there. Lewis, for Mercedes, has won more races there than anywhere else in his career, winning there 8 times, which is unbelievable. Max will probably end up breaking all these records in the next couple of years, but yeah, for now, Lewis has that record. Yeah, it's boring at the moment. That's why I'm trying to get some bets other than Red Bull. They won again on the weekend, so they've won 9 straight races now. So we can have a look at a bit of other value rather than your winners who are paying $1.30 or things like that. Lewis also, he loves to, he doesn't disappoint the home fans who are all cheering him on. He's been on the podium the last 9 races there, which is incredible. Just not on him, but it shows how consistent this Mercedes car has been. Just to get 9 podiums in a row, even if you're the best driver in the world, like something has to go wrong sometimes. But he always gets over the line in first, second, or third. He's been absolutely awesome. And a lot of people are saying Lewis has had an off year for his high standards, but I was just looking at the driver's standing. He's still 4th, which is an incredible effort when you've got Ferrari and Red Bull who have a faster car at the moment. So he's still been awesome. He's got in the podium in 2 of the last 3 races, still 4th on the driver's stand. He's got to back the GOAT of F1 at the moment. So Hamilton podium finish, he's going to go for 10 podium finishes at Silverstone in a row. $2.10 I think is amazing value. Even if their car's like the 3rd or 4th best on the grid, he just loves this track. He knows it. He could probably do this with his eyes closed, I reckon. So $2.10 on Ladbrokes. Yeah, he'll love it at the British Grand Prix.
Nice one. That's good. Good call. You can read all about that as well on the site later today as well.
Absolutely.
With Stats Guy's big F1 breakdown of the British Grand Prix. I
Biggest
do
one
love
of the year.
Silverstone with the sweeping corners, the big, long race.
I was like, where's he going with this? Nice.
All right. Before we get to the donation, which is everybody's favorite part of Friday's show, quick rate my multi. Line bets. Let's do it. AFL across the weekend. I got my 4 favorites here. Rate this one for me, gentlemen. Minus 86.5. The Brisbane Lions over the West Coast Eagles. Minus 29.5. The Port Adelaide Power over the Gold Coast Suns. Plus 50.5 for the North Melbourne Kangaroos to stick close-ish with the Geelong Cats. And then my beloved Carlton Blues, plus 3.5 out west against Freo. That brings it in at $13.60 with Bet365. Gentlemen, rate my multi.
Ooh, I tipped Freo this week.
Carlton, so I've got to be 10.
Oh, 10, okay. Yeah, the one as a North fan, I can see us getting smashed, but like the stats are backing us up, to cover that line. The one I'm worried about is Carlton. I tipped Freo. I think at home they're a much better team, so I'll probably give it a 6 because I don't trust Carlton.
Yeah, I've just got to believe in Carlton. I look like the fact that they're still getting the 3.
They probably they got a better team on paper. They just need to prove it.
This is it. This is the Carlton story. All right, time for everybody's favorite spot on Friday. Love that.
That's awesome.
We've got 2. So do we want the one that's specific for this weekend first or the Super Larry long-term one?
Let's go this weekend's first, and then we'll go to the Super Larry futures.
Righto. So we'll start off Brisbane Lions minus 112.5 against the West Coast Eagles.
Where'd you get that from?
Line. Jeez.
Yeah. Roll that into GWS minus 33.5 and Toby Green to kick 3 or more goals.
Right.
Port Adelaide minus 42.5 against the Gold Coast Suns.
Like that.
The Canberra Raiders just to cover tonight. That's 11.5. And of course, got to finish with some horses. Randwick, race 3, number 2, Burrendana to place. Got slaughtered first up. Probably should have won. Goes close to winning this. It's actually trained like dead set across this, like the 2 stable blocks. The next one's my dad's, and it's in that one there.
Nice.
Anyway, Caulfield at race 2, number 6, Astronomus to place. I think it's been taken there just to get a look at Caulfield before potentially a spring raid. That is $209.11. And if you want both of the horses to win, it's $974.14 with our friends at Ladbrokes.
Oh, I got to take the 974.
How does it lose?
I think you're a bit of an astronomist. But anyway, the vibe here is the place is not too bad. I do worry about that Port alternate line of 42.5, especially if it's wet and cold in Adelaide over the weekend. I feel like that's why I was happy with my 29.5, where they sort of just eke over and they win by like 34, 36, something like that.
Yep.
43 makes it a little bit tougher, like because Gold Coast can at least put up a bit of a fight. But I guess if it's cold and wet,
they may go to water.
Yeah. Tricky one, though. I do like your Brisbane Lions alternate line.
It's just going to bump up and up and up.
Just aggressive, yeah.
And Toby Green, I think building a lot around Toby Green in that GWS game, as we talked about yesterday, right?
Like
Green and Riccardi, if you're going to build them into a multi, why not? I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
The 209, I'd probably go that. The 974 might be a bit of a stretch.
I'm going 974. Get on it.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Long-term Larry one. So we've got the Poms to win the Women's World Cup later this year here in Australia. Into Collingwood to win the AFL Grand Final. I still believe Collingwood's football is the best that we've seen all year, and it looks like they're starting to build once again post-bye. Ireland to win the Rugby Union World Cup, reasons outlined in the show in previous weeks. They won the Grand Slam and the Six Nations. They've lost 2 games in the last 18 months. They are flying. Romantic Warrior to win the Cox Plate. He'll be the best credentialed horse to come to Australia in a long, long time if he runs in that. And I'm going to do it, stats guy. Arsenal, Premier League. Let's go.
Bang. To be fair, I'm going to have some money on him because I'm sick of Man City.
I thought we'd be like $4. We're $6. Declan Rice medical tonight. Urian Timber. His medical was tonight, I believe. We've already signed Havertz. Granted,
I hope Arsenal win, but Havertz doesn't.
And it'd just make it more exciting if Arsenal win. And I've got the theory of Arsenal have got the hunger. Man City, it's like they did the treble. Like there's got to be a slight dip from their awesomeness, which
we've said that for 6 years or something.
No, I only said it this year. And that multi, gentlemen, is 2,574 to 1.
That's not the winnings. That's the odds, is it?
Yeah. So if you have $10 on that, you'll win 25,700, whatever, like 25 grand.
Yeah. That's a $10 donation. Simple.
And if the horse doesn't come to Australia, that leg gets voided and we keep rolling. So that's all right.
Nice
one. All right. Yeah, good donations. What's going on there? Very clearly. All right, that's it.
A lot of free time.
We're done for the week. We'll be back on deck on Monday. And, I'll be away from Wednesday. But these two gentlemen will be taking care of you from there. No problems there. So
I can't wait for the Stats Guy and Leo show next Thursday when I have to do AFL and rugby. I'm like, go on, boys. Enjoy.
Nice one. What do you think about this one, Stats Guy? Oh, I don't like it that much, Leo. Okay. I'll take it. All right, that's it. We're done. Pack her up. Get right around the show. Subscribe on your podcast app, like, review, and star them all, would you? Chuck us a follow across all the socials, Facey, IG, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and, of course, Threads. Send in any questions via the socials. I don't know how we'd get them via Threads. I don't think you can DM yet, but either way.
I didn't even know.
Tag.
You can comment and tag. Off you go. So do some comments. We still want some Rate My Multis coming in. I think we've got a Mark McAllion multi on the horizon as well, Stats Guy. What else?
I just want Grandma McAllion's best of the weekend. Like, we need to get that on Friday.
I'll get it next week. Lock it in.
Yeah. On your nana. All right. What else? I think, make sure you're across the AFL and NRL shows this week. They are both absolute belters. That AFL show was unreal. We've got some sick games this weekend. And I think that's it. Thanks, Stats Guy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
Cheers.
Thanks, as always, to Gerald for producing. Does a great job. And, of course, to Leo for doing all the social work. He did a great job, like, snagging all the threads yesterday. But either way, thanks to me, of course. What do we say, Stats Guy?
Gamble responsibly.
All right, may all your picks come in. Happy punting. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you on Monday. Go Bet Daily. Out.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.